On a sunny morning, an ordinary-looking young man was walking down the main road, wearing his school uniform. So sleepy. Indeed, loving sleep is a human instinct. It seems I'm still human. Just as this young man finished yawning, someone patted him on the shoulder and said, "In a certain sense, you don't have to consider yourself human either. After all, you're famously known as the lucky pervert." Hearing this, Bai Ye glanced sideways at the speaker. The other person, also walking, had black hair, an average build, average looks, and a pair of eyes that looked like dead fish. He spoke in a very displeased tone. "Kyusuk, if you don't know how to talk, please shut up. Thank you. Also, let me make this clear. Stop holding a grudge over the last incident. What happened with Karino was just an accident." As soon as Bai Ye said this, the hand resting on his shoulder instantly tightened with immense force, as if trying to crush his shoulder. The weary expression on the other's face vanished instantly, replaced by a look of gritted teeth as he spoke. "You, this lucky pervert, have the nerve to say that. You're exactly the kind of guy who deserves to be humanely eradicated. Only after you're humanely eradicated will all girls feel safe." The other person recalled that day when this bastard went to his house to play games, and his damn luck acted up again. He fell together with his sister, and that filthy hand of his actually slipped inside. One could say the most regrettable thing he had ever done in his life was inviting this guy to his house to play, letting him meet his adorable sister, and then fall on top of her. Not only that, who knows how many girls at school have fallen victim to this guy's hands. If he weren't so familiar with him and knew his situation, he would absolutely suspect this guy was an intentional super pervert and molester. I say, what exactly is your deal? You're always falling over due to all sorts of accidents, yet every single time, it's a windfall of benefits. He couldn't help but speak through gritted teeth, his tone laced with envy, jealousy, and resentment. I'd really like to know the answer to that question myself. At that moment, another hand landed on Bai Ye's other shoulder, and he saw a pair of those trademark dead fish eyes. "Hachiman, knowing wouldn't help you. You'll never successfully get a girlfriend in this lifetime. By my estimate, your single status will last from birth until death." As soon as Bai Ye said this, the other hand on his shoulder also tightened fiercely. "You damn normie. You damn harem protagonist type of lucky guy. You deserve divine punishment." Hikigaya Hachiman also spoke through gritted teeth. Although he was the type who enjoyed watching a world where only I get hurt come to fruition, it seemed that after making friends in this multi-anime world, his personality had changed just a tiny bit. Of course, this was only towards his close friends. To outsiders, he was still the same old guy. Bai Ye felt helpless about the behavior of these two close friends of his. After all, with him around, and in this multi-anime world, the protagonist auras of these two didn't seem to be all that great. As for why he knew this was a multi-anime world, and about the protagonist thing, it was because he himself was a reincarnator. Bai Ye couldn't help but recall the previous situation. 2 years ago, he suffered an unwarranted crisis due to an accident, which triggered the awakening of his memories. When Bai Ye awakened his memories, he was completely bewildered. After awakening, he assessed his own situation and immediately understood his background and circumstances. Perhaps because he was a reincarnator, after his parents came to this world, they both had to go on a business trip together. Unfortunately, they encountered a plane crash and successfully became offerings to heaven, leaving behind only him and a non-blood-related sister. This was the textbook protagonist treatment. But back then, his memories hadn't awakened at all, so he didn't understand the implications. The only saving grace was that they left behind sufficient assets and a house for him to live in. Otherwise, he would have been utterly screwed. But that wasn't the main point. The main point was that he had been dragged into an attack. Honestly, that was what made him most collapse. Awakening his memories only to find his life had become so stimulating. Moreover, at that time, his head had been cracked open, causing him to lose a lot of blood. It was precisely that head injury that brought his memories back. When he opened his eyes back then and saw 3 ferocious-looking guys, with shikigami and something like a red-clothed entity following them, he was scared out of his wits. Of course, that wasn't the main point. The main point was, after he opened his eyes, he heard these people discussing. directly abduct the target, force a breakthrough, and then kill everyone else. Honestly, he wanted to ask if these guys were sick. After all, the people who got dragged in were either seriously injured from being hit by debris or had fainted. Basically, no one else was conscious, and these guys still wanted to desecrate the corpses. And of all the bad luck, he opened his eyes and was spotted by them. As a result, they decided to take him along as bait, a decoy meant to die. When one of them grabbed him, he saw another person being grabbed. His eyes widened in shock. Although his memories told him this was likely a multi-anime world, he didn't expect to encounter a female lead so soon. The problem was, he absolutely did not want to meet a female lead under these circumstances. After all, they were targeting her, and he just got caught up in it. Where's the logic in that? Next, while being dragged along, he frantically searched his memories and discovered many interesting things. Namely, he had never heard of supernatural powers, yet these people were displaying them. That meant this was a world where supernatural powers were hidden. Of course, one couldn't say completely hidden, but ordinary people simply didn't know about them. In this world, skilled chefs held quite high status, and his memories also contained that place. Tutsuki. He even began to suspect if reaching a certain level in culinary arts could grant special abilities. Otherwise, it didn't make sense. This damn world actually allowed legal polygamy. However, achieving this required a certain level of status and position. For ordinary people, it was, of course, none of that was the main point. The main point was the immediate crisis. Bai Ye looked at the black-haired girl who was also captured, a bitter smile appearing on his face. Looks like I've been dragged down by you this time. The black-haired girl before him was Kirishima Shoko, a popular female character from an anime primarily about idiots. After seeing the blood on Bai Ye's forehead, a look of guilt appeared on her face as she spoke. I'm so sorry, I apologize for getting you involved. After she finished apologizing, Bai Ye chose to remain silent. It wasn't that he didn't want to respond, but he heard a ding sound. Congratulations, host. You have successfully awakened your past life memories. The daily sign-in system is now binding. System binding successful. Bai Ye never expected his cheat to arrive, making him immediately call out in his heart. System bro, you're finally here. I've waited so long for you. If you were any later, you'd be collecting my corpse. These bastards are trying to use me as a scapegoat.
Ding.
If there was even a hint of fear in your heart, this system might have actually believed you were calling for help. Hearing the damn system's words, Bai Ye felt a bit awkward. You see through it but don't say it out loud. Don't you understand that? Can't be helped. Just awakening my memories gave me a feeling like I'd entered a game. I didn't have a strong sense of immersion right away. And for some reason, I don't seem to be as scared as I imagined. At most, I just don't want to die after coming here.
Ding.
That's normal. The main reason you're like this is that there was a major problem during your reincarnation. That's why you ended up in this sorry state right after awakening your memories. Hearing this, Bai Ye felt very confused. Did he experience some weird situation during his reincarnation? An accident? He always felt like he had genuinely forgotten some things, but it definitely wasn't things from before his reincarnation. After all, he remembered clearly that before his reincarnation, he was a super-rich second-generation playboy. He loved going wild since childhood, but he was quite restrained, okay? Mainly for the sake of his health. He finally endured until he was 16 and made plans with a big star to lose his virginity. He distinctly remembers he was having dinner at a rotating restaurant on the 36th floor, planning to spend a wonderful night, when a car crashed through the window and, as luck would have it, ran him over. Honestly, thinking about this makes him want to curse someone out.
Damn.
No matter how special I am, isn't this transmigration method a bit too ridiculous? A car can crash into the 36th floor? Are you sure you're not messing with me? Can you people at the Time-Space Management Bureau, or the Transmigrated Management Bureau, or whatever, at least have some logic when making people transmigrate? If you hit me on the main road, I have nothing to say, but you hit me like this. Is there no justice? No law? More importantly, for the sake of my health, I finally endured until 16, planning to lose my virginity, and then you take me out like this? Couldn't you have waited a bit longer? After recalling it, Bai Ye cursed wildly, as it was truly inhumane.
Ding.
That's the fault of those unreliable guys at the Transmigrator Association. What does that have to do with this system? The key point is that someone in your situation could still get bound by this system, which is enough to show those guys are unreliable again. They sent the wrong person. You should know this system has absolutely no connection with them. Or rather, those trash aren't worthy of being mentioned in the same breath as the system. Hearing this, Bai Ye was utterly bewildered. What the hell is all this? Aren't you guys on the same team? Wait, are you serious? Aren't you with those guys?
Ding.
How could this system possibly be with that trash? We're not even on the same level, okay? This system found you in a special place. Precisely because you could appear in such a place and your soul hadn't dissipated, this system bound you and helped you reincarnate. Otherwise, do you think you'd be so lucky as to bind with this system? Hearing this, Bai Ye felt a bit surprised. Oh ho, this system is quite arrogant. By the way, why did you say I was sent by those bumbling idiots by mistake? And if they sent me by mistake, don't they provide reincarnation services? Bai Ye hadn't forgotten the system said it saw him in a special place. If even this arrogant system calls it special, that's enough proof his soul was in a very, very peculiar place before.
Ding.
What good service do you expect from that kind of organization? If they sent the wrong person, they just sent the wrong person. It's not like it's the first time. Someone like you can only count yourself unlucky, hoping your luck is good enough to reincarnate. After all, the rule in the myriad realms is that the strong enjoy everything and the weak have no rights. Do you think you are strong or weak? Hearing this, Bai Ye immediately understood. It's because he was an ordinary person, so if there was a mistake, they just didn't care. Fine, fine, fine. Damn it, I'll remember this debt. Bai Ye was also furious now. Forcing him to transmigrate is one thing, but not being responsible for reincarnation? If this system hadn't fished him out, who knows what would have happened? One more question. Logically, since you bound me, I should have reincarnated with my memories, right? Why did I only awaken my memories now?
Ding.
This question is simple. The place you were in belonged to a battlefield, or rather a place of combat. That battle was extremely brutal, nearly destroying the heavens. But your soul could actually reside there. And when this system wandered there, it found that place, filled with hastily destructive forces and all sorts of other energies, seemed to have been purified. Then, it discovered those powers were all being absorbed by your soul. You should know, inside were the essences of many who died there, fragments from when the heavens were shattered, rules and the like, all mixed in. Countless people tried to absorb them, and without exception, they all died. But you actually managed to absorb everything. So, helping you reincarnate cost the system a great price, resulting in your memory awakening now depending entirely on luck due to the state of your soul. If luck is good, you awaken. As for if luck is bad and you don't awaken, then this system isn't sure if you'll have another chance. After all, your situation is something this system has never seen since its creation. When the system reached this point, its mechanical voice seemed to emit a sigh. Hearing this, Bai Ye felt like he should be grateful to those guys. All right, I've asked all my inner questions. Now introduce your functions. The conversation between Bai Ye and the system was very fast, so he wasn't worried at all about anything going wrong during the process. It was just a matter of thoughts.
Ding.
Finally getting to the main topic. This system is named the Daily Sign-In System. It allows the host to sign in for different things every day. It could be money, it could be trash, or it could be skills. Of course, there's an annual sign-in gift pack, and everything inside is good stuff. Upon hearing this, Bai Ye immediately understood, roughly grasping the system's functions. I generally understand your functions. I must say, they're quite ordinary.
Ding.
Why make it so complicated? Then what about my newbie gift pack,
Ding.
It's in today's sign-in. Host, would you like to perform your daily sign-in? Upon hearing this, Bai Ye seriously suspected the system was doing it on purpose. It was deliberately messing with him, especially since he had just been messing with it, and now it was pulling the stunt. But he decided to let it go. When under someone's roof, one has to bow their head. It was fine. He wouldn't miss out on one day's sign-in rewards anyway. System sign-in.
Ding.
Congratulations, host, for performing your daily sign-in. You have received one newbie gift pack. Would you like to open it? Open.
Ding.
Congratulations, host. You have obtained chaos magic.
Ding.
Congratulations, host. You have obtained Rito Yuki's body constitution. Host, would you like to fuse them? Upon seeing these rewards, Bai Ye immediately took a sharp breath. He really wanted to ask, is this system really that good? Bro system, I misjudged you. The rewards you've given me are enough for me to walk sideways in this world. I just want to ask, is the first chaos magic the one from Marvel that I'm imagining?
Ding.
That's right. This ability is produced by the system, and there is no thon within it. Furthermore, after system upgrades, its power at its peak has surpassed the Marvel Universe's level. Upon hearing this, Bai Ye couldn't help but swallow. This was awesome. He was about to soar. However, the phrase power at its peak had a certain ring to it. System, for this peak period, I won't need to slowly fuse it, will I?
Ding.
Isn't that obvious? You're just an ordinary person. Do you expect to become a fatty in one bite? Upon hearing this, Bai Ye couldn't help but sigh. It seemed his plan for an invincible start had gone up in smoke. All right then, it should be enough to deal with the current crisis, right? If you're saying this ability can't handle these small fries in front of you, you must be kidding this system. Bai Ye felt a bit embarrassed hearing that. Indeed, these two things weren't even on the same dimension, were they? After fusing, he could easily hang these guys up and beat them. This moment, Bai Ye declared. The advantage is mine. At this moment, Bai Ye felt a surge of confidence. By the way, I have a question. System, let me ask you a question. This Rito Yuki's body constitution, it wouldn't be that thing I know, would it? When Bai Ye saw the second reward, he was completely bewildered. After all, in his impression, only that legendary figure seemed to fit those two words. Why was he called legendary? Mainly because others said the male protagonist was a lucky pervert, but that guy could actually get his hands on them. Ding! That's right. It's that thing. The newbie gift pack contains one conceptual level item, and what it gives is random. This system didn't expect you to get this thing. TSK. In this multi-anime world, combined with something like this, congratulations, you will become the luckiest male protagonist, full of benefits. Why did Bai Ye feel like he heard a hint of mockery in that mechanical voice? Holy crap. Do you really think this is anime? If I fall a few more times, I swear my reputation will be ruined. No, wait. After I fuse chaos magic, my strength shouldn't be weak, right? It couldn't possibly still be affected?
Ding.
Did you perhaps miss the 3 words conceptual level? This system tells you, even if your chaos magic reaches 100% fusion, and you can beat OAA with one finger, you'll still fall when it's time to fall. Don't dislike this thing. For someone like you who has transmigrated to a multi-anime world, it can be said to be the best welfare item. Furthermore, this system is too lazy to pull strings, so everything is just luck. Go forth, young man. You will become the most perverted person in the entire multi-anime world. Bai Ye felt a toothache hearing this. He could imagine how much these heroines would avoid him in the future, as everyone would be worried he might pounce on them at any moment. Just as Bai Ye was about to argue with the system, he felt a gaze filled with guilt looking at him. Bai Ye then remembered that when he was chatting with the other party, this system suddenly appeared, causing him to not continue their conversation. He immediately exited the system, then looked at the girl in front of him. Her initially stunned expression suddenly broke into a smile as he spoke. By the way, young lady, what's your name? Kirishima Shoko was stunned. The other party had fallen silent after hearing her apology, making her think he was unwilling, or perhaps trying to organize words to scold her for involving him. She was prepared to bear all of it, as it was her responsibility. However, she didn't expect him to suddenly smile and ask for her name. Kirishima Shoko. My name is Kirishima Shoko. The girl took a deep breath and then spoke. Good name. Although Bai Ye had recognized her long ago, He still had to put on an act. Although Kirishima Shoko didn't know why Bai Ye had changed so quickly, she couldn't help but speak at this moment. Your name? Bai Ye. Someone from that big country in the east? Kirishima Shoko heard Bai Ye-kun's two-word self-introduction. A name like that definitely belonged to someone from that side. That's right. Meanwhile, the person holding Bai Ye watched the two suddenly start chatting, then fiercely kicked Bai Ye, making his leg almost buckle. Bastard, you still have time for small talk at a time like this. Bai Ye was quite hurt by that kick. Kirishima Shoko's expression immediately changed upon seeing this. Your target is me. There's no need to involve Bai Ye. What do you know? We need to bring someone as bait, after all. And also to make an example of them. Another person spoke at this point, and Bai Ye immediately started cursing. Go to hell. Can I have a couple more words before I die? Do dead people not have human rights? Because at this moment, Bai Ye and the other party were being taken away, causing the few people in the corridor to be stunned for a moment, and one expected the other party to curse in such a situation, but thinking about it, it was quite reasonable. He was going to die anyway, so what was there to be afraid of? At this moment, another woman, though her face was covered, spoke in a very ordinary voice. Bai Ye immediately gave it a bad rating. Her voice wasn't pleasant, and her figure was just average. Hee, little brother, you're really interesting. Now you're just throwing caution to the wind. Otherwise, I'm going to die anyway. Why should I give him any face? At this, the person holding Bai Ye face darkened. Kid, you're asking for death. Enough. Just as the other party was about to continue hitting Bai Ye, the leader spoke, issuing a cold reprimand. He's just a dying man. There's no need to care. Let him say what he wants.
See?
No wonder he can be the boss. He's so reasonable. And you're just a grunt. The other two had to admit that this guy was truly throwing caution to the wind. Why, are you not even listening to your boss anymore? Hey, old man over there, this guy isn't even listening to you. He's clearly a traitor. Be careful, he'll stab you in the back sooner or later. I suggest you bury him immediately. The guy holding Bai Ye didn't expect this fellow to turn into a mad dog after throwing caution to the wind, desperately trying to drag others down with him. Kid, your trick to sow discord is too low-level. Do you think it will work? Don't worry, I'll personally kill you when the time comes. At this, the others didn't say much more. Bai Ye immediately pouted, feeling bored. He knew that the reason he dared to provoke them so much, even if his powers hadn't fused yet, was because he was very clear about the situation. Now that the two of them were captured, to put it another way, unless the other party specifically went to grab another hostage, but looking at their hurried escape, he knew it was impossible for them to go back and grab someone. So, he was the only one. If the other party had a bad temper and wanted to kill him, Bai Ye thought he would immediately fuse his powers and have a good fight with them. After confronting them, Bai Ye looked at Kirishima Shoko and spoke. Shoko-chan, do you know what my dream is? Kirishima Shoko shook her head upon hearing this. However, at this moment, she looked at Bai Ye with a serious expression and spoke. If you have any dreams, you can tell me. As long as I live this time, I will help you fulfill them. Kirishima Shoko stated that with her family background, helping Bai Ye fulfill his dreams would probably not be difficult. After all, people who could mobilize such individuals for a kidnapping were not from ordinary families. All right. My dream is to open a huge harem, and the harem will be full of beautiful girls like you. I wonder if Shoko-chan can fulfill my wish? As soon as Bai Ye said this, the people around them fell silent. Everyone was completely surprised that the other party actually had such a dream. It had to be said that the two men, upon hearing it, also admitted that it was indeed a dream men had, but this little brat actually had such a dream, and even said it at this moment. In a sense, the other party was quite impressive. His skin was at least thick enough. The woman, however, looked at Bai Ye with the expression one would give a scumbag, and then spoke. Little brat, having dreams is a good thing, but being a scumbag is not good, you know. How about before that, big sister helps you with some physical trouble removal? As for this physical trouble removal, those who know, and Kirishima Shoko was stunned at this moment. She didn't expect the other party to make such a request, but thinking about their current predicament, she still spoke seriously. If I can survive, I can agree to you, but it can only be me. For other matters, I cannot make the decision. Kirishima Shoko herself wasn't sure if she would survive. After all, the other party had kidnapped her, definitely to threaten her family and gain benefits for the Kirishima family. Otherwise, if it was for money, why kidnap her? There were certainly no shortage of rich young ladies wealthier than her. To put it plainly, what they wanted was merely the help of power. However, after the transaction was completed, it was really hard to say whether the people behind it, or these guys, would let her go. After Kirishima Shoko said those words, "I can agree to your terms," Bai Ye, without a second thought, entered the sign-in system and chose to merge everything. Under the sign-in system's concealment, his body began to undergo rapid changes. The sign-in system also thoughtfully provided a special service. At this moment, time throughout the entire world stopped. Bai Ye felt his flesh, every bone, every nerve, and every cell evolving madly. It was as if every part of his body was cheering with joy. From his body to his spirit, and then to his soul, everything was rapidly improving. Ordinary person, building busting level, street busting level, district busting level, star busting level, single universe level. In a brief instant, Bai Ye skipped over even the star busting level, directly entering the single universe level. When he himself reached this level, his power also stopped increasing. When Bai Ye opened his eyes, he saw the grayed-out scenery around him and roughly understood what was happening. He couldn't help but exclaim that the sign-in system was quite considerate. Immediately after, he felt his power. He had a sensation as if he could destroy everything at any moment. Holy cow! What kind of terrifying strength had he reached now? Why did he feel like he could easily blow up a planet? Thinking about it, there was no comparison between his former self and his current self. It was like heaven and earth. Sign-in system. A question, haha. What is my current strength? Why do I feel like I can collapse a planet at any moment? Is it just my imagination?
Ding.
You can open the sign-in system panel. Upon hearing this, Bai Ye silently willed the sign-in system panel to open, as that's how it always worked in novels. Indeed, that was the way to open it. Immediately after, he looked at the panel in front of him and was utterly dumbfounded. Daily sign-in system host. Bai Ye identity. Human/source of destruction strength. Ordinary single universe level special abilities. Unknown. Chaos magic upgraded version. Merging/mutating. Rito Yuki's body constitution normal abilities. Academics LV1. Writing LV1. Items. Money sign-in system evaluation. Before the sign-in system, you were worse than an ant. After getting the sign-in system, you can be considered a slightly larger and... After looking at the sign-in system panel, Bai Ye was completely bewildered. What was all this? No wonder he felt like he could shatter the earth at any moment. It turned out he had directly reached the single universe level. Next, looking at the normal abilities on his panel, those were understandable, as they inherited both his current lives and his previous lives. But was there a problem with his identity? Wasn't he human? Source of destruction, a sign-in system customization. Bai Ye, recalling what the sign-in system had said about what he had experienced, roughly understood that it was because he had absorbed those things, and his soul was no longer like a human's. Even the sign-in system wasn't sure what he was, but he definitely carried the power of destruction, otherwise it wouldn't have given him such a name. It was also possible that he was called the source of destruction because of the guys he absorbed. Damn it. Bai Ye had a feeling that if he appeared in the myriad realms in the future, he would definitely be in big trouble. As for the other situations, what was unknown? What was mutating? Bai Ye decided not to mention the power that was still slowly merging. To be honest, he could feel that it was too vast, as if he had only absorbed a tiny bit and already reached this point. If Bai Ye remembered correctly, the Scarlet Witch at her peak had beaten the Living Tribunal, let alone his upgraded version. Who knew how powerful it was? So he really only absorbed a tiny bit and reached the single universe level. At the same time, he also understood why it had to merge slowly, because his body was still constantly transforming and growing stronger. If he used it all at once, he would definitely explode. IT was probably at the limit of the safe range now. Any higher wouldn't work, or rather, it would involve risk, which wasn't necessary. Brother sign-in system, I have a question. No. I should say I have several questions.
Ding.
You've already guessed about your identity. You are the only one in the myriad realms in this situation, so this sign-in system has given you a name. After all, that guy wanted to destroy all the heavens, so the title source of destruction suits you well. Next, unknown means you've absorbed so much essence, even the fragments of the myriad realms that were shattered at the time, so this sign-in system doesn't know how to describe this power of yours. Moreover, you can't even mobilize it, so treat it as a passive ability. Perhaps when you're in danger, this merged, unknown power might come into play. Next, mutating isn't complicated. This power of yours is engraved in your soul, and it's currently affecting the chaos magic that this sign-in system gave you. This sign-in system even speculates that basically any power merged into your body might be affected. But rest assured, it will basically develop in a good direction, becoming even stronger. As for the Rito Yuki's body constitution, it belongs to a concept. This hasn't been affected, or rather, this thing itself isn't for combat. This sign-in system even suspects that it's because your current situation hasn't actively tried to mess with his physique, otherwise it would have been affected in minutes. Upon hearing this, Bai Ye immediately doubted his life. Actively? You mean this power has consciousness? Bai Ye was scared first because if it had consciousness, it meant he was the target of soul snatching. What consciousness? Once you've absorbed it, it belongs to you. As for why it's like this, it can only be said that it's too advanced. It will actively filter which abilities need to be enhanced and which don't. Non-combat abilities like this are decisively excluded from the mutation process. Of course, this is just speculation. After all, your situation is unknown, so don't ask this sign-in system. The sign-in system was also quite helpless. It could be said to be one of the earliest ones to be born, and it had never seen such a situation, so it could only describe it as unknown. As for its previous words, they were all its scans of a certain person's situation, and the inferences and conclusions it drew based on what it had seen since its birth. Upon hearing this, Bai Ye breathed a sigh of relief. No consciousness was good. One last question. How strong am I in this multi-anime world now?
Ding.
The strongest. Of course, it's not excluded that you might not remain the strongest later, as this multi-anime world of yours is not simple. Other worlds will merge into it. In minutes, you might wake up from a nap and see a Son Goku. Of course, this is mainly due to the special nature of this world, and it's also uncertain when worlds will merge. It's possible that a world could merge tomorrow, or it might not happen for 100 or even 1,000 years. Upon hearing this, Bai Ye understood, and at the same time, couldn't help but marvel at how interesting this world was. Can you do me a favor and pause time for a bit longer? I want to get familiar with this power because I'm afraid of not controlling it well and causing big trouble.
Ding.
I'll give you 1 hour. Bai Ye's mouth twitched a few times upon hearing this, then he spoke with a helpless tone. Isn't it a bit too stingy of you, giving me only 1 hour? Big brother, I was just an ordinary person before.
Ding.
So what? This sign-in system feels it's already given you too much. This sign-in system refuses to believe that after staying in that place and absorbing everything there, your talent would be poor. Upon hearing this, Bai Ye felt very helpless. He didn't even have his memories, and now he was being put to the test. Wasn't this a bit too fast? But after thinking about it, he decided to give it a try. 1 hour was better than nothing. After all, he didn't want to accidentally kill the wife he had just tricked into his hands by overexerting his power. Bai Ye didn't waste any more words and began to practice, first familiarizing himself with his body's condition. When he waved his hand, he felt full of power, as if this space would be blown apart, but in reality, it didn't explode. Instead, ripples appeared and then returned to normal. Ding. It's fine. This sign-in system is reinforcing it. There won't be any problems. Upon hearing the sign-in system's prompt, Bai Ye knew his feeling was not wrong. He would have truly collapsed that space just now. Next, he tried to restrain his power, making himself like an ordinary person, then waved his hand again, gradually increasing the strong power. 5 minutes later, Bai Ye felt he could easily control his divine body. Ding. I originally thought you would need 10 to 20 minutes, but I didn't expect it to be less than 5 minutes. It's only 4 minutes and 27 seconds now. The sign-in system felt a bit surprised, not expecting this guy's adaptability to be so strong. He really must have gone through a baptism, although his memories had just recovered and he had just come into contact with these powers. It didn't hinder this guy's terrifyingly high talent, a guy starting from scratch, mastering such power so quickly. To be honest, even the sign-in system itself was a little surprised. It knew that it hadn't helped. Normally, the sign-in system could fully help the host adjust and control these powers. However, it hadn't done so, simply because it wanted to see how far this guy could go, as this guy was an unknown existence even to it. And upon hearing this, the smile on Bai Ye's face was almost uncontrollable, but he still forced himself to say in a humble tone, "Just SSO." The sign-in system, hearing this fake, couldn't be faker remark, expressed that it was too lazy to expose this guy. Immediately after, Bai Ye began other operations. It was at this moment that he wanted to recall the specific abilities of this thing. After all, the most representative character was the Scarlet Witch. If Bai Ye remembered correctly, this thing could convert matter, modify causality, create things out of thin air, distort space and time, create clones, create dimensions, modify physical rules, and so on. To put it simply, it was the best reality-altering ability. But wasn't the other parties more inclined to be passive? Or did his upgraded and mutated version allow him to use it freely? He first tried creating something out of thin air, and instantly a pistol appeared in his hand. Then, after making the pistol disappear, a long sword appeared. Bai Ye threw the long sword in front of him to the ground and said, "Erase." Immediately after, the long sword vanished without a trace, as if it had been wiped away by someone. When Bai Ye stopped mobilizing this power, he felt himself return to an ordinary state. Thinking of this, he had to say that he seemed to be able to activate it at will. If he remembered correctly, the other party still needed to use magic orbs, but he didn't need anything. Holy cow! Sign-in system, is this ability of yours not passive after all?
Ding.
The upgraded version made by this sign-in system is definitely different from the original. If you can't even control it, what's the point of playing? Not to mention you're in the process of mutating. If both of you were to say opposite modifications, you would definitely win. 6. Bai Ye was having a blast at this moment, instantly making lightning cover the entire city in the high sky. Then he made it strike down, or rather, at the moment the lightning struck down from the high sky, he transformed the lightning into daggers, causing a rain of daggers. He even created an Ultraman. Holy cow! This ability is interesting. The sign-in system observed Bai Ye's actions and couldn't help but marvel at how blissfully ignorant this guy was. It discovered that the power of the mutated person was equivalent to becoming his own hands and feet. He completely controlled the knowledge. The sign-in system didn't mention some things. Even though this thing could be controlled by oneself, like an on-off switch, one still needed the ability to press the switch. After 10 minutes of playing, Bai Ye indicated that he was done. After all, he had mastered this power. And as for the remaining Rito Yuki's body constitution, he had no test subjects. The sign-in system also didn't waste words and lifted the restrictions, and Bai Ye opened his eyes, looking at Kirishima Shoko in front of him, a smile on his face as he spoke. "Remember what you promised. You can't go back on your word." "Okay." Kirishima Shoko looked at Bai Ye in front of her. His ordinary face could still show a smile at this moment. She believed he was making the best of a bad situation. "Brat, surviving is a pipe dream," the guy holding Bai Ye said. "Little brother, wait. Your older sister, can swiftly cut you down and remove your worries. In your next life, don't even think about having a harem." Another woman spoke up, but Bai Ye replied with a smile. "To be honest, I'm quite grateful to you all." As soon as Bai Ye said this, everyone was bewildered. In this situation, he was still thanking them. "Had this guy gone crazy? The blood on my head is because of you all. I suffered an impact and almost died. Also, because you all put me in a life-or-death crisis, my lost memories have returned. And now my power has been unsealed. Although Bai Ye's power was given by the system, it was not false to say that his power was unsealed. After all, he had communicated with the system, and with all the memories he had absorbed, it was like the shackles were broken. His body would continuously grow stronger. To put it simply, besides integrating the power of devouring, the power he had absorbed was also gradually enhancing his strength. As soon as Bai Ye spoke, the leader immediately felt something was wrong. Without a word, he summoned a female ghost. The ghost's fingernails were extremely long, and they directly stabbed towards Bai Ye's head, intending to kill him. The three of you become powerless, ordinary people. As soon as Bai Ye said this, whether it was the Shikigami or the ghosts around the three of them, they all instantly vanished. Immediately after, the hands that were holding the two of them also loosened, and they seemed to have become as fragile as weak chickens. Bai Ye directly broke free, pulled Kirishima Shoko to his side, and retreated a few steps, looking at the three bewildered guys in front of him. How does it feel to be an ordinary person? As soon as Bai Ye said this, the goat immediately reacted. Then, the three of them simultaneously extended their hands, their fingers trembling as they pointed at Bai Ye. You. Who exactly are you? My power. Where did my power go? Damn it. Why can't I contact my red clothes, my ghost logic? At this moment, the three of them discovered that all the power they had cultivated within their bodies had completely disappeared. Then, even their originally strong physical qualities were gone, and they became powerless, ordinary people. Bai Ye looked at the expressions of these people, a smile curving at the corner of his mouth as he spoke. You ask me where your power went? Did you forget what I just said? You've become powerless, ordinary people. Since you're ordinary people, where would you get power from? Bai Ye's words were like a thunderbolt, ringing in the minds of the three of them. The three of you become the weakest insects. Bai Ye didn't give these people a chance to speak, and once again mobilized his power. Immediately, the three of them instantly vanished, and three insects appeared on the ground. A can of insecticide appeared out of thin air in Bai Ye's hand, which he handed to Kirishima Shoko. These guys kidnapped you. Do you want to do it yourself? Kirishima Shoko was completely stunned at this moment. After all, Bai Ye's ability just now was so similar to the power of what is said is what happens from those exaggerated novels. After all, whatever he said, it happened, and even people instantly turned into insects. This was not scientific at all, not supernatural at all. Okay, she knew that her family had dealt with people with supernatural powers, but she never expected anyone to be so abnormal. This was simply a bug. After Kirishima Shoko saw the insecticide Bai Ye handed over, she came back to her senses, shook her head, and quickly spoke, afraid that Bai Ye would spray it directly. After Kirishima Shoko came back to her senses, she immediately spoke. Bai Ye-kun, please don't kill them yet. Can you help me find out who wanted to kidnap me, and what their purpose was? Bai Ye nodded after hearing this, then said a word to restore them. Then he modified them so they would answer any question and only speak. Under his urging, all the questions, both relevant and irrelevant, were asked, and the people, seeing that everything had been dug out, looked at Kirishima Shoko with pleading eyes and said, Miss Kirishima, we already know the situation. Can you let us go? We no longer have any use, and we guarantee that today's events will not be spread. Kirishima Shoko didn't respond to these words. Instead, she put her hands together in front of her and then went behind Bai Ye, indicating that everything was up to Bai Ye. Disappear from this world. As soon as Bai Ye said this, the people immediately vanished from their sight, as if they had never appeared at all. After Bai Ye resolved everything, he looked at Kirishima Shoko. The other party was also looking at Bai Ye, and they stared at each other like that. Bai Ye then spoke with a very helpless tone. Don't you have anything you want to ask? Yes, but you wouldn't tell me even if I asked. Bai Ye felt very helpless after hearing this. If she answered like that, there would be no fun for anyone. By the way, didn't you suspect that I was part of another group? After all, they just caught me, and then I was able to rescue you. Don't you think it's too coincidental? You just said that because you were severely injured, your memory recovered, and your power returned. Kirishima Shoko spoke with a calm expression. No. Wouldn't a normal person suspect that explanation is a bit fake? Bai Ye was a bit flustered. He didn't believe his charm was that great. He knew he was just average-looking. Bai Ye-kun's strength, I have already witnessed it. I don't think you would harbor any ill intentions towards me. I have the ability to resist, just like those people just now. So, I don't think you were lying. You were severely hit, then recovered your memory, and retrieved what belonged to you. Bai Ye felt that talking about such topics with smart people was uninteresting. He couldn't even tease the other party. By the way, does our previous agreement still count? As soon as Bai Ye said this, the calm girl in front of him finally broke her composure, her face flushing slightly, and she said, "It counts. Of course, if you want a harem, I won't stop you, but I won't support it either." As soon as she said this, Bai Ye suddenly said something that made both of them clean again immediately. All the blood and such on Bai Ye's had disappeared, and the dust and such on Kirishima Shoko's body also vanished. "Let me put a mark on you first." After Bai Ye finished speaking, under the confused gaze of the girl in front of him, he wrapped his arm around her waist, lowered his head, and kissed her. Kirishima Shoko didn't expect Bai Ye to attack so suddenly, causing her first kiss to be given away just like that. After they separated, the girl's face was already extremely red, and Bai Ye at this moment also spoke with a grinning tone. "I didn't expect my first experience to be with a young lady like you, a beautiful girl. It feels pretty good." Bai Ye meant this was his first experience in this life, not related to his previous life. Kirishima Shoko's already red face, upon hearing this, her eyes brightened slightly. If he was also having his first experience, then she could accept it. Then, Bai Ye waited for the girl's people to arrive before leaving, stating that he didn't want to be too conspicuous and asked Kirishima Shoko to help deal with the aftermath. Bai Ye, at this moment, went through the memories of his awakening and shook his head, then a smug expression appeared on his face. "This is fate. The two of you are destined to be alone." Bai Ye meant that all his heroines were his, so these two guys should just get together. They were quite familiar with each other anyway. Two dead fish eyes getting together would probably be quite a sight. As soon as Bai Ye said this, he immediately received disdainful glares from two pairs of dead fish eyes. "By the way, Bai Ye, according to Karino, it seems you turned into a beast last Friday and pounced on Shikamori-san from the next class, and it was full of benefits. I heard that quite a few people want to get rid of you, mostly from the sports department. You need to be careful. You know, none of these guys who train in sports are weak. Don't worry, when they make you pick up the soap, I'll make sure to throw a few more bars of soap down." Although Kosaka Kayasuke was warning Bai Ye, his later words seemed a bit off, didn't they? How can just throwing a few bars of soap be enough? At that time, each of us will hold one of his shoulders, and he just needs to bend at the waist. At this moment, Hikigaya Hachiman also spoke. Bai Ye's mouth twitched a few times after hearing this, and then he spoke with a helpless tone. "Then I really have to thank you for your kindness. One helps me throw soap, and the other says he'll help me press my shoulders down to make it easier to pick up. You're welcome. After all, it's mostly the crimes you've committed. We're just helping you eliminate those crimes." Kosaka Kayasuke spoke shamelessly, with an expression of doing it for his own good. "Get lost. Do you think I wanted to? Why don't you think about what kind of situation I was in? You should be very clear that I didn't do it on purpose. It's no use if we know, and it's no use if only a few people know. The key is that everyone else doesn't see it that way." That's right. People are creatures who believe in surface appearances. For example, your behavior at school. We both know it was unintentional, after all. How can you be so accurate every time? It's like you're cursed. To put it harshly, even if it were intentional, it couldn't happen like this every time. But in their eyes, it looks like you planned it. Haven't you noticed? Your reputation at school is now as bad as it can get. Females see you, and keep a 3-meter distance. Your nickname, Pouncing Demon, isn't for nothing. When Hikigaya Hachiman said this, his tone was full of schadenfreude. He felt that this ability of Bai Ye's, while bringing him many benefits, also brought a lot of trouble. If it were him, he would have long since given up and chosen to hide in a corner by himself. Go, go, go. What do you mean girls keep a 3-meter distance from me? That's too exaggerated. My Xiaohui wouldn't be like that. At this moment, the two felt very helpless after hearing this. We still don't understand why you two always accurately see Kato-san. Normally, if there's such a beautiful girl, many people would know, but her passive ability is just like your passive ability when you fall every time. They're both uncontrollable. And somehow, you two strange people got together. You can completely see each other. Damn it! Why wasn't I the one who saw her? Otherwise, she definitely wouldn't have been conquered by you so easily. Kosaka Kayasuke spoke with an expression of envy, jealousy, and hatred. Hikigaya Hachiman also nodded in agreement, but he wasn't nodding because he envied the fact that she was conquered, but rather the fact that both of them had passive abilities. To be honest, before he met Bai Ye, he was a scientist, but now he was a little less firm in his beliefs. After all, having two such strange people around him was simply inexplicable by science, wasn't it? Bai Ye, instead of envying and hating these two, looked at Kosaka Kayasuke next to him and asked with a curious tone, "What information did my Kirino bring me, big brother-in-law?" As soon as Bai Ye said this, it was like a sharp sword piercing Kosaka Kayasuke's heart. Get lost. You want to call me big brother-in-law? In your next life. I will never approve of this in this life. If time could flow backward, I would definitely beat the past self who brought you back to my house to death. Too bad. Time can't flow backward. Aharaha, just accept your fate, big brother-in-law. Bai Ye had a very punchable look at this moment. Get lost. As long as I'm here, you'll never see Kirino again in this life. Kosaka Kayasuke was trembling with anger at this moment, and the other dead fish I also silently noted this down, indicating that he absolutely couldn't let him see his cute little sister. When Kosaka Kayasuke said this, he seemed to have found his confidence. I'm telling you, as long as I'm around, it's impossible for you two to meet again. So give up on that idea. A smile curled at the corners of Bai Ye's mouth after hearing this. Didn't Kirino tell you that we're going out to see a movie this Saturday? As soon as Bai Ye said this, it was like a sharp dagger stabbing into the other's heart. Hikigaya Hachiman seemed to hear the sound of the other being stabbed, the kind where a white blade goes in and a red one comes out. You, impossible, that's absolutely impossible. Kirino clearly said she had an appointment with someone. Kosaka Kayasuke suddenly choked up at this point, because his sister really did say she had an appointment to go see a movie, but no one told him it was with this bastard in front of him. You, how on earth did you contact her? I remember staring at you intently after last time. Even when you were at my house, you two didn't say another word to each other. Kosaka Kayasuke's voice was trembling at this moment because he couldn't figure it out. He really couldn't figure out how these two got together when he had clearly taken the strictest precautions. Moreover, he had been staring at this guy and knew very well that the two hadn't touched each other again before they left that day. It was simply incomprehensible. At this moment, Hikigaya Hachiman's alertness toward Bai Ye regarding his own sister instantly rose to the highest level. After all, there was already a rebellious son right beside him. Even though you were staring then, what about after? We happened to meet by accident once. Bai Ye spoke in a matter-of-fact tone. When Mikan and I were out shopping, we bumped into her by chance. She happened to have a tiny bit of trouble then, so I helped her settle it and we exchanged phone numbers and contact info. By the way, it was Kirino who took the initiative. Hearing this, Kosaka Kayasuke turned ash-gray, followed by a posture as if he were ready to fight to the death. Today, I'm going to finish you off to protect my Kyudamudo. Bai Ye let the other person shake him. After all, this was his future brother-in-law, so it wasn't easy to make a move.
Give it a rest.
She's your biological sister. Is it useful for you to object? She'll have to get married sooner or later. You bastard, is having a non-blood-related sister that great? Kosaka Kayasuke let out a roar of jealousy. He knew very well that this guy and his sister were completely unrelated by blood, and their relationship was, well, those who know. He was dying of envy. Speaking of which, where's Mikan? Why don't I see her today? Hikigaya Hachiman only just realized that there seemed to be one person missing from this guy's side. She has duty today, so she left earlier than me. There's no way I'd leave that early. Don't even think about it. It just so happened that Yui also had duty, so the two of them went together early. I was wondering why you were alone today. It turns out the people who usually accompany you on your left and right both ran off first. Hikigaya Hachiman felt it was a bit strange. This guy always had someone with him. When was he ever so lonely on the way to school? So that was the reason. When the few of them arrived at school, there were clearly no girls within their vicinity. Look at what you've done. Walking with you, girls don't even dare to approach. Exactly, it's all thanks to you. Bai Ye didn't care about their accusations at all. Instead, he decisively retorted, even without me, it's useless. You two are also grow repellents, okay?
Especially you, Hachiman.
How can a guy like you who hates normies have a girlfriend? Hearing this, Hikigaya Hachiman had an urge to break off his friendship with this guy. Although he didn't really care much about such things, it was rare to have a best friend who constantly stabbed him in the heart. Could he just not have this kind of friend? When the few of them arrived at the classroom, he immediately tossed these two bad friends aside and walked smilingly toward a beautiful girl with short hair. Looking at the scene of her sitting there quietly, he couldn't help but sigh, as expected of her. Megumi morning. Did you miss me? Bai Ye-kun, I didn't miss you at all. Those words really break my heart. I'm always thinking about you, especially when I'm lying in bed. Kato Megumi indicated she was already immune to this. After all, he was arguably the only boy who could see her at all times, and he was also a very eccentric fellow. Ever since she met him, he had been like this, grinning and saying such perverse things, and she had already gotten used to it. Bai Ye-kun is a hentai as always. Those words are harassment to a girl, you know. Kato Megumi reminded him in a calm tone. It doesn't matter. You won't call the police to take me away anyway, so what's there to fear? The two people Bai Ye had abandoned felt speechless, watching the interaction between them. How is it that I'm still not used to her presence? Don't talk about yourself, I'm the same. If Bai Ye hadn't walked over to greet her just now, I wouldn't even have noticed she was there. The two thought about it and sighed. This kind of passivity was truly terrifying. Meanwhile, Bai Ye continued to shamelessly tease Kato Megumi. Megumi, when exactly are you going to accept my confession? Bai Ye-kun, stop joking with me. You should know that everyone around you is so beautiful. Confessing to me is purely using me for entertainment. Haven't I always said you're very beautiful? If you don't believe me, ask Hachiman. Have a little more confidence, and I'm not joking, okay? I've been waiting for your answer. Then my answer is the same as before. I refuse. Upon hearing this, Bai Ye looked as if he had been stabbed, immediately clutching his chest in a pained gesture. Just as he was about to speak, someone arrived behind him and spoke up to roast him. It would be a miracle if she didn't refuse you in this situation, you hentai. Normal. Who confesses in a classroom with such a grinning face? It looks insincere at a glance. Which girl do you think would agree? Exactly. If you were a little more serious, Megumi might actually consider it. But since you're always so unserious, who would dare to agree? There's no sense of security at all. Byakuya-kun is too insincere. Bai Ye watched as he was roasted by a set of triplets. Or rather, it was actually a quintuplet issue, but there were only 3 of them here. Mino, Miku, Itsuki, how can you say that? I'm being very serious, okay? Heh, confessing after pinning someone down in the classroom while your hands aren't being honest at all. Are you sure that's being serious and not just being blinded by beauty? Mino roasted him without any hesitation. I didn't want that situation to happen either. After all, you know my circumstances. It's just that I took your first kiss last time. Why do you always target me like this? You should know that was my first kiss too, okay? You didn't lose out, and I didn't lose out either. Bastard. You dare mention that incident to me again, you hentai. Pervert. I should have called the police to lock you up back then to prevent you from harming more women. Nino instantly bristled upon hearing Bai Ye's words. This bastard actually dared to mention that time. Originally, the two of them had nothing to do with each other, but this bastard had some kind of weird bad luck or good luck, it was hard to say, where he would fall every time, and after falling, he would always take a huge advantage. She had become a victim, and it was even the mouth-to-mouth kind. Nino was driven crazy with anger back then. You should know that girls like handsome men, especially blonde ones, but the guy in front of her didn't fit that at all, that time. She even felt like killing this guy, but unfortunately, this guy was also thick-skinned. From that day on, the two of them didn't get along. Of course, another more important factor was that ever since that incident, it was like she'd seen a ghost. She dreamed about this annoying guy every day. Through a process of subtle influence, Nino's perception of Bai Ye was very complex, but that didn't stop her from wanting to bicker with him every time she saw him. That was at most an accident. Calling the police wouldn't have been useful. And once you did that, basically the whole school, or even your relatives and friends outside of school, would know that your first kiss was taken by me, Bai Ye. Taking 10,000 steps back, even if those police were blind and defined it as my fault, I would have been fished out the next day. After all, soft rice tastes quite good. Bai Ye used a very arrogant tone to analyze the situation for Nino, which made her furious. Shameless. This guy is simply too much. Why doesn't the heaven strike this guy with a bolt of lightning instead of letting him harm others? You bastard, eating soft rice so openly, aren't you afraid the rich woman behind you will knife you? What's there to fear? It's not like I'm marrying into her family. The nature is completely different, okay? Moreover, I dare say more than 90% of people want to eat this bowl of rice, but they just can't. So, what's there to be not open about? I eat soft rice, and I'm proud of it.
Damn it.
I don't know if the lady of the Kirishima family is blind. To actually take a fancy to a bastard like you. She even turns a blind eye to your philandering and having women on both sides. It makes me so angry. After Nino finished speaking, she returned to her seat in a fit of pique. Itsuki and Mika sat in front of and behind Bai Ye's side, and Itsuki spoke up at this time. Can't you stop upsetting Nino? I dare say that from the time we grew up together until now, you're the first person who can make her this angry. Also, when you talk about eating soft rice, don't you feel guilty? Given your reputation in the outside world, you don't need to sink to this level, right? Itsuki felt it was quite strange. With this guy's reputation as a best-selling author, he wouldn't starve even without eating soft rice. Besides you all, who else knows that the person behind the pen name, Harem King, is me? To be honest, I really want to interview you. What kind of mindset did you have back then to choose such a name? At this moment, a lazy voice rang out. I thought you were planning to lie there until noon. How did you wake up so fast? Shizuka-sensei's class is coming up. I don't want to suffer her iron fist of justice. I'm not like you. On the other hand, I'm actually quite curious what mindset you had when you picked that name. Of course, it's my ideal. I'm serious about becoming a harem king. Although Bai Ye said this frivolously on the surface, he was actually cursing in his heart. Was he out of his mind before his memories awakened? Writing novels was one thing, but he was a failing author, let alone using the name Harem King. Furthermore, his blog was filled with people flaming his lack of skill, which made him explode with anger. Be serious. Looking back at what he wrote before his memories awakened, it was quite traditional, and the construction was perhaps a bit stiff, which is why people didn't like it. Add to that some people who weren't very bright, the hater types who just wanted to vent online, and they really managed to ruin his reputation. So after his memories awakened, he decided to show these guys what a copycat author looks like. As things progressed, his pen name, Harem King, became incredibly famous. As soon as Bai Ye's shameless words came out, he immediately received looks of disdain from everyone around him. Byakuya-kun, there's something I want to ask you. What did you do to Ichika? Miko suddenly tugged at Bai Ye's sleeve and asked in a curious tone. Itsuki also cast a scrutinizing gaze at Bai Ye. Their older sister had been very off this weekend, and her reaction upon hearing the name, Bai Ye, was problematic. Bai Ye thought about it after hearing this. A small accident happened on Friday.
Why?
Is Ichika still thinking about beating me to death? Bai Ye was clearly a bit guilty when he said this. Without revealing his abilities, he had accidentally barged into the girls' locker room. Ichika was changing clothes inside at the time. After a chaotic scramble, it was realized it was a misunderstanding. He had been misled by those two bastards into thinking it was the boys' room, only to end up in the girls' section. You should know, he basically never came to this area.